Try this again. Hi, y'all. Welcome to the Spiritual Speakeasy, where the bar's always open and the spirits are always served. And we never know when I'm going to forget to unmute the mic. Tonight's special guest is Celine Beanie. She goes by Beanie. She is a psychic medium, amongst many, many other things. She's a dear friend of mine I met on Facebook, and she has a lot to talk about tonight. So I'm going to bring her up on the stage, and we shall talk.
Hello.
Hey, that was kind of a miss there. Like I started talking and hey,
Hi.
but it happened. Welcome. How are you tonight?
Not bad. Getting through
Good.
it.
Getting through it. Yeah.
I just brought some of these spirits with me because I needed it. But
so tell us about yourself and your spirits.
So as of lately, I've been working with these two the most. They actually stay with me majority of the time. She's an elemental spirit. She is, I believe, fire. And then Matoka is a Native American spirit. She works with herbs, and she I believe worked with many different devices, more so of like I forgot the name of it. It's like bones. It's like bones. I forgot the name of it. I've never worked with it. When they throw.
Oh, like reading bones, like
Yeah.
the divination form of throwing bones.
Yes.
That's interesting because I throw bones too.
Oh, I've never done it, so I didn't know if there was a name for it. So
we just call it rolling bones or throwing bones.
Oh, okay. So those are those spirits that I keep with me. And then I have multiple others you might feel if you are sensitive. I do apologize if you see my house guardian. He can be very territorial of his home. So I'm warning you now, he can be a jerk. But yeah, he can be. He can be a jerk.
He's like looking over your shoulder.
So what he does is he goes in the hallway when I talk about him. All I know is he's sticking his head in the camera and he's saying, "Ooh, Celine, when are you gonna get me that stone in the corner where behind you?" He wants an amethyst like this so bad. Like I've been looking, and he's just up my butt about it. Every time I go to an event, I have to bring one home or a stone for him.
Love stones.
He does. They're everywhere in my house.
I love stones too. I get that. They're shiny and they're super cool. And we have a lot of people giving you shout outs. Unfortunately, I cannot see their names. It's coming across on my screen as Facebook user. So you have hello Beanie, Han Beanie, hello Julie and Beanie and Carol. So Carol must be on. Hi Carol. He's there. Somebody says I don't have names. So if you're commenting,
they see him.
Yeah, if you're commenting, put your name in the thing so I can see it, because I'm on StreamYard and I can't see the Facebook names right now.
Yeah, because I signed in with my Facebook. But anyways, besides that, I do tarot readings. I also been working with my friend. I can't say who, and but I've been working with her on some cold cases, which I do for free because like she's my friend and I know she wants to find these people. And,
oh, sure.
And it's heartbreaking of these stories that I've been hearing. I've done like 3 of them in the past with her, and I did work with one of my spirits, and it helped a lot. So I can't wait to hopefully I can continue working with her because I don't mind. I love helping people, but that's actually one of the things I had to do today. I had to help her and her friend figure out certain things about 3 different women that were murdered, and it was really tough. I can't give too much information because it's private, but it was very tragic because I did see a lot of things I didn't want to see. And I feel like he's still lingering, and I feel like that's why maybe Richard's around a little bit more because he's trying to remove him from the property.
Sure.
So if you feel like a nasty, disgusting hatred, it's not him. He comes off more of a jerk. not pure hatred and like or anger.
Loathing, almost like a loathing of women. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
I do apologize on that. That was something that was unexpected. I just got a phone call and I picked up. I'm like, oh hey,
And then it came.
So I had to help her with that. So I'm also trying to work on eventually making my own podcast and eventually maybe working with somebody else. I'm not sure yet on that. That's a decision that I'm going to have to decide on when the time comes. I also want to do more investigations, but it's really hard with a kid because I want to work with my abilities a little bit more when it comes to when it comes to investigating. I rather do that because I don't really have tools. It's too expensive. So I rather try to work with my abilities more than work with tools. And a lot of people are against it. But if you know the location and the history of it, and I don't, it'll be beneficial.
I agree with you. Like being a psychic and a medium myself, the tools are. It's kind of like this. When I started reading bones were. I don't read tarot the way most people read tarot in the Midwest. Most people want you, when you draw a 7 of Wands, they want you to tell you about the 7 of Wands. I see the picture and my spirit gives me the scenario, and so I'm an intuitive tarot reader. And in the Midwest, that doesn't go over at all. Like I'm small town, capital city, Missouri. And so when I read and I say, so this is, I'm seeing conflict and I'm seeing you getting stabbed in the back and I'm seeing this is what you said and this is what they did. And they'll be like, but that's not, the 7 of Wands. And I'm like, well, I'm telling you what my spirits tell you. So it's just too difficult.
A tool. It's something to work with. It gives you more information. There's a difference between a spiritual reader and a tarot reader. Tarot reader is someone that reads by the book and by the cards. A spiritual reader uses cards to, help
facilitate
give a better understanding of the situation.
To me, it organizes and facilitates the conversation.
Exactly. I'm gonna pull this out because this was my first deck I've ever had. This is my first deck I've ever had. All right. My aunt was teaching me how to do tarot. All right. And within the first reading I did, she's like, that's not what the 2 of Cups mean. This is not what the Fool means. It's this, that, and the other. I'm like, I'm going to say her name anyways. Jen. I was like, Jennifer, listen, I don't know the tarot. I don't, but I'm giving you a reading because you asked me to, and this is what I'm getting. I told her, I said, you're going to have a conflict with your mother, and it's going to be about your daughter, and there's going to be a big, huge argument and conflict. 2 months later, bam, they got into a conflict. She broke the window on her mom's car, and she literally stopped talking to her for almost a year.
Yeah.
About her daughter. So it's like, it was 18-year-old me giving a 30-something-year-old woman a reading, and it happened.
And intuitive, based on intuitive and the spiritual. Well, we have people that sit down at gigs, and it's really crazy to me. They actually will pull up I shit you not. They will pull up a program, a tarot program, and they will draw their cards and they will plug them in and read off the program and charge $35. I shit you not. I'm just like, this is the stupidest thing I have ever seen. It is crazy. So bones, when you throw bones, each one has a specific meaning, but your spirits can cancel out the meaning. And like with anything, they can go, but not for this person. That's not what that means, And so
that makes sense.
So, between
like tarot in a way, but
it's not common. It's not common around here. And again, I'm to the point, and I'm like you are too. You can just say, well, something's behind you and you're doing this and you're doing that. But what you find is that's not really the way it is. It's not, you know, I can not throw bones and sit down and tell you the same thing. But it's a tool for conversation. It's something visual that people see.
Yeah.
So going into investigations, if I bring scientific tools, then that helps. You know, it helps
Yes.
people see, oh, she heard this, now it's real, as opposed to, well, what's in my head is real too, but that doesn't mean. Joanne says to tell you hi. Ruth Such says to tell you hi. Greg says to tell Joanna hi. Joanna says to tell Greg hi. And we got a whole conversation here. Yeah, bones are kind of the same as ruins. Yeah, they have specific meanings, but you can also do them. L&M, the tools that help it made value. Wait a minute. The tools help made it valid for the people who cannot see what we do. Yes, very much so. Looking beautiful ladies, say hi to James and Anita for me, Beanie. I don't know who that is, but hi.
Someone said hi. I don't know who.
Hi, James. James and Anita, they're in the background. He is real for the people that he is not a spirit that just walked through.
So I've had this one experience that I can guarantee you. I don't know these people, so they can't back me up because I don't know them. But I went to Wilson Castle. It's one of my favorite locations. Love it. It was like a Halloween party or whatever, and they had an investigation. And I went up with a small group of people, and I was seeing through my third eye. I kind of called him out, though. I kind of because he was being disrespectful, and I don't care if you're dead or alive. I don't care. Personally, I don't give a crap who you are. If you're going to be disrespectful to me, I'm going to be disrespectful right back. You got to earn respect.
Yes,
you got to earn it.
I agree.
Just like I have to earn your respect, but right now you're not getting my respect because you're disrespecting me.
Right.
The guy was standing right across from me. I'm like, there's a spirit right over there in that corner. And he goes, oh, yeah, I just saw it because it moved real fast. And I said, back up just a little bit. He's right there. As soon as I said that, the device in his hand, it went all the way up.
Mm-hmm. So all it validates. It validates. And for some reason, well, I shouldn't say for some reason. I mean, when you think about it in the medical field, a physician would say you have heart problems, and you'd say, show me the data that says I have a heart problem. Well, look at your EKG, look at your labs. These are like the EKGs in the labs for the spirit world.
Wait, what?
So, like our tools and our devices to me are like the EKGs and the lab work for a physician. A physician can look at your swollen legs, and they can listen to your heart, and they can go, you're skipping beats and your heart isn't pumping the way it should. Look at your fluid in your ankles. And we might go, oh, okay, but, well, look at your EKG and look at your labs. They're all chicken smacked. They're all out of whack. And we're going to go, oh, okay. Well, we can sit down and say you have a spirit in that corner and you have something nasty on your ceiling and we have this and this. But then you get an SLS out and you get a meter out, a K2, or you get something else out, and you start getting EVPs and you see the SLS figures and you clock the heat signatures, and then it becomes real because they can see what we what we see, but they can't see it the same way we do.
Yeah, exactly. It can sense that they're there when other people like us can't.
Right. So the tools, they're electronics and stuff. They're nice. They show people that are disbelievers, some of them, sometimes, and they kind of back up what we're seeing. It's a visual for what we see they can't.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to people that are non-believers, I usually tell them, you don't want to be in this, because once you're in this, there's no way out. You're stuck.
You cannot unsee.
Yep. You're stuck. It's a gift and a curse all at once. You can help people, but then you got to deal with it. You got to deal with every single day. It's like poke, 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 poke.
Now, do your spirits, you told me about the one with the medicine doll that you have next to you at your bedside. Do you still have things come through to you at night? Like, do you have
Sometimes,
entities or things come through and try to talk to you at night?
sometimes I get well, I feel more peaceful when when they're with me. But when I had my negative spirit, I actually gave her to Mary Jo. I don't like personally talking about her, like saying her name because it gives her more power.
Right.
But when I had her, I had nightmares. I woke up in sweats. Um, I had her in a ring of salt on a wooden plaque thingy shelf,
Mhm.
and she fell backwards off, and she was sitting there for like almost a week. Yeah, there's no back, but all of a sudden she falls off, and she's been there for almost a week.
Mhm.
How does that make sense? Like no one touched her, no one, nothing. Like
Right.
fine. Like me and my significant other, we were like, "What the heck is that?" I'm like, maybe that's a pipe burst or some crap, or maybe one of the metal bars because he had pipes that I had on the shelves to make it a wall for like blankets to be up. I thought that fell. I was like, no way though. So I go down there. She's on the floor,
Mhm.
and that night I was sleeping and I had this dream of me and two other people. One was a woman, one was a man. And one was a black man with short hair. He had he had a red shirt underneath, and he had it kind of looked like a button up. Um, what's it called? I forgot the name of it. It has like squares and whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Patchwork?
Huh?
Patchwork?
Maybe. I don't freaking know. But he had like a long that buttons up, and it has like lines with the squares or whatever. And the girl had red hair, not my color, but it was like a ginger color.
Mhm.
And it was in a ponytail. And she had, I think, a tank top, and it looked like we were in like the cowboy movies where it's like abandoned almost. Well, it wasn't like those houses. It looked like the city, and we were walking, and there was abandoned cars. There were abandoned everything. Everything. There was not a person in sight. We were walking, and we come across this toy shop. There's a toy shop, and the window has a big huge hole in it, and the door is cracked, and it blows a little bit open, and then it swings back a little bit, and it stops, and you can see the dirt slowly rolling out from the air blowing the. So we open it, and I peek my head in, and all of a sudden we saw this little old lady. She got frail, very thin, uh like white and gray hair. Her eyes were blue. They looked like they were ready to pop
Ooh.
out her head. Yeah, it wasn't. She came across as a sweet old lady though. She's like, "Why don't you come in? Why don't you come in?"
Mm.
A little dump truck, a baby doll sitting on a chair. I see some abandoned shelves, but there's some scattered toys on it with dirt and dust. Um, and then we're like, no, we're good. And we start walking back. We turn around, she's behind us. We walk faster, and then we start running. She's right behind me, grabbed me by my shirt, and turns me, and she's like, to my neck, a big knife. What you gonna do now? You can't stop me. I woke up, and I was like, what the fudge? I was like, what in the heck is going on? That
She
was
was a
like
soul trapper.
that was the creepiest dream
Yeah.
I had.
She was holding people captive.
Yes.
Yeah. As like an energy source and feeding her. Yeah, this was very, somebody else said it before I said it out loud, post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Very, very like kind of like Wild West post-apocalyptic. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, she was feeding. She was like an energy eater.
Probably because the doll I had two spirits in it. It had a man and a woman. And the woman tried to make herself like poor me. And then the man, when they connected, they started working together. And I've had people say to me, you need to get her out, and you need to get her out now. She's attaching to you. She's making you more violent. Because when James was here, he was sitting at this table and he's like, you're doing a cleansing, you're not doing it right. And then I yelled at him. I slammed everything on the table. I'm like, you effing do it then. Since you're an expert. Like,
yeah,
so
she was working you.
Mm-hmm. And then when I walked into my bedroom with these spirits, I was like, what the heck just happened? That's not me. What the heck? I walk out and I'm like, James, I am so sorry. I don't know what happened. That was not me. I'm like, whoa.
Well, he knew that. I mean,
no, at the time he didn't. And then the next day when I was sitting here, I removed her from the house. I put her in the shed. And he said, my crown chakra, my head is burning. And he's like, I never get that. I don't care what anybody tells me. He is gifted. He has abilities and he doesn't like to use them. But when it's an emergency and spirit wants to really get into him, they will let him. And he was like, she needs to go now. And I'm like, yep.
I'll put now, does he cleanse things like that? For people that don't know, your significant other is James Anito.
Yes.
So he's a demonologist.
Yes.
So is he able to remove things that you bring in playing with them or buying them or, so whatever?
She is one of the only spirits that is that negative that I've had. I do have another one that's cranky. She's just a cranky old lady. She's like a witch. She's a witch. She's a cranky old lady. She likes to scare people for fun, and then she goes on her merry way. So that's her. I just tell her, stay in the basement. Don't bother me.
Yeah.
But that one, she told me, good luck getting rid of me. I got it on a cam footage, not even in my own house. But when I was on the phone with my best friend at the time, she said, did you hear that? She told me, good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah. She said, good luck. And then she went, huh? She made a little laugh. Huh?
So for those of you that are listening tonight, I want to point out that most of us in this business do not run around with SB7s talking to dead people 24/7. We hear the voices. They come through. Sometimes other people hear them as well. They may come through on a recording. They may come through on a telephone call. They may come through when you're talking to somebody else live. I've had viewers that have pointed out, I just heard somebody laugh in the background and there was nobody laughing in the background. Nobody alive laughing in the background. I should point that out. So most of us that hear things, and I'm sure you're the same, you don't run around with equipment going 24/7 talking to your spirits and talking to they go through our head. We kind of conversate through our third eye and our ears.
And sometimes seeing them here.
Yeah. And I visualize them too. Like I can see them, like I'll see something go, or my animals react as well. I mean, they'll go down the hall and
my dog's the same way. He does not like Richard because he's a shadow. So he gets very frightened of him. Growls at him.
They will react, yeah. And sometimes they'll, animals will go up to and they growl or they hiss or they do things to what we would consider to be inanimate objects, but that's because there's something attached to it or something is using that as a vessel.
Mm-hmm.
As in the case of yours.
My dog likes most of my spirits. As soon as I took him out of the box, I let him sniff them, look, get to know them a little bit. With the one I have, my elemental in the other room, I had her out. He sniffed her, licked her, and then he sat there for a little bit, and then he was like this, like something was flying around the room. He was like, because she's a fairy.
He's watching her go. She's traveling.
Yeah,
which is fun. I mean, that's somebody says that's what they call them, energy eaters. Well, that's the word I use. I mean,
energy vampires too.
Yeah, energy vampires, and it does suck you in. But they definitely, that's not something that you want to sleep through. You woke up at a good time for that one. Because, I mean, who knows what would have happened if you had not awakened at that time. That's, and it's almost like, I feel like the two spirits that were with you, or the two people in your dream that were with you, were like almost guiding you into that situation. Like they were along for the ride, so I don't know whether they were working with her or just out on an adventure, but I almost feel like they were manipulating you to go along and go in. And
probably because one was a woman, one was a male. Probably trying to trap me. And I don't know what it is. Do you know anything about doorways?
I do.
I actually have a question for you. If somebody is uncomfortable with going through a doorway, is that a good or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. I mean, I think that there's some kind of, what's the word I want to use? You have some kind of knowledge, even at a subconscious level, what's on the other side. Or you're anticipating something on the other side, which makes you more concerned and watchful than you would be normally.
Okay.
So to me, whether you step through or not, I mean, we step ourselves through a lot of doorways that, we're apprehensive and our heart rates go up, and whether they're spiritual portals or portals or doors, physical doors, you go ahead and you step in, but you get ready for what, if you feel that, you kind of go, okay, I'm going to put my walls up and call in my spirit team before I open this door.
Yeah, I astral projected before, and there was a portal right in my room, and the light in there was turning on and off, on and off, on and off, flickering. And I told myself, I'm like, nope, I'm going right back. I felt something in the pit of my stomach that it was saying, don't do it. Don't go through.
And that's a good thing. So, and to me, astral projecting, there's a difference between dream walking and astral projection. So for people that don't know that, astral projection is when you are attached via cord. You have a spiritual cord to your soul. If that cord gets severed, if something happens to you, you can be unalived. I mean, you can be. It can be dangerous. You can get hurt because you're attached back to your physical body. So if something separates you, the belief is that, if something separates or cuts that cord, you're kind of screwed. Dream walking is the ability to have a starting point and an ending point, and that they're the same, and you have a routine. You go back through that routine every time you leave, and something is staying back. You have a spirit guide that stays back and watches your body, but you are free to travel any place that you want to go. Now, you have to make sure that you come back, but there's not that cord that can be detached or severed. And so it's safer, maybe. Both are draining. My daughter used to say she would astral project, and she would say, she could always tell when she had, because when she landed, she had a pattern when she landed of hitting the floor feet first, and that's how she felt it. And she would wake up the next day and she'd always complain about her knees and her feet hurting. And then she knew she had traveled the night before, which is just kind of weird, but
I hated it. It terrifies me. everything's black and white. It's a very uneasy, uncomfortable feeling watched at all times. And it happened to me twice. And one time, a negative entity was staring at my body, looking right into my soul. It looked at my body, then it turned, smiled at me. And then I was like, I'm out. Went right back in. And I was stuck there. I could not move. I was like that for 30 minutes. I couldn't move. All I could do was breathe and blink. It's it.
Like in a sleep paralysis state.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't travel anymore? You don't astral project?
I try not to. I feel like I do more dream work, like not purposely, but I get more dreams than I do astral project. I'm sorry, but I don't like astral projecting at all. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to do it. Like, I am terrified after that experience.
No, I get that. And if you're and why do something that you're uncomfortable doing? Right? Like, I don't like to scry. I can get sucked into a mirror very easily. I can go in and I can see what's in there, but I don't like it at all. It's something that I'm not going to say I'm insecure about it. I just don't like it. I'm extremely uncomfortable. I don't feel like I'm as guarded with the other things that I do. I'm much more guarded. And I feel like I could lose myself, so I try not to do it. So why do something when you have other skills and you don't need to do it?
Yeah, that's why I've tried having more of my spirits in there now, like the ones I feel more safe with. So if that does ever happen, they can protect me. They can help me, guide me, go back to my body. I just don't want to have that experience again where I feel like something's going to hurt me when I'm not there in my body.
Well, absolutely. Greg said there's something flying back there. That was a few minutes ago, so apparently something passed. That was not that James just walked by. That was not the shadow person. But somebody did see something go by. Hi April, hi Nancy. Just giving shout outs to people as they're popping on. I'm trying to go through.
You guys will probably see something. If you're very sensitive, you probably will have a lot of spirits. I think I have about like 17 spirits in my house. So yeah.
And you've got sage or something going too, because it's
whispering. Yeah. Because I was drained. I also have a family member here as well. So I kept her with me. So
yeah.
You might pick up on her as well. There's a lot of energies. I'm probably gonna have 2 more spirits coming as well because they're family as well.
And everybody wants to be on camera, folks. I mean, come on. Whether they're
I feel like behind me, I feel like everyone's coming out now. They're like, hello.
Hi, we're here. Yeah. Not everybody can see you. But there is a wispy just for the people that are tuning in. There are wispies that are coming on to the side of you, and that is her burning something. So that's not shadows. And yeah, she's got an incense tray going. So that's what that is wisping. So just to debunk that, we will debunk that. So you do cold case readings, you do readings and tarot. You investigate with your significant other, correct?
Yeah. I'm hoping I can eventually do my own team, though. I want to really bad, but it's just hard because of what he does, and then my son's really small. So I'm hoping one day in the future I'll be able to have my own team, and I'm hoping I can do mostly girls.
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
not many girl groups.
Somebody just asked me if I could see your spirits. I have seen some of them. Yes. Yeah, Nancy. Sorry, Nancy. I'm like, for some reason, my comments on the computer are lacking names, so I'm having to look down at my phone. I'm not trying to play on a phone while I'm talking to my guest. I'm actually trying to read comments. She does have a very strong spirit energy behind her, and there are things that are peeking around the corners as well.
I also have spirit animals as well. I have two right now. I have a wolf and then I have a raven. The raven stays up in my son's room, and then my wolf stays with me. She's guarding me. She protects me. And then I have my raven up there because I want to make sure my son is protected as well. Nothing comes into his space, and that he my raven's very protective, so he will make sure it stays the way it should be.
Well, when I feel like when we're in this business, we have to protect our house. We have to protect our family. We have to protect our kids. And in my case, my grandkids, when they come over, my kids are adults. But I have grandkids that come over, and that's like,
especially with what James does. Like, I had to have my friend come here and cleanse this house a little bit more, and I had to separate some of my spirits because they weren't getting along. Their spiritual beliefs. That's another thing. I'm trying to find my way with my spiritual belief system because I was born and raised Catholic, but I feel like I am on this journey of finding where I actually belong because I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus Christ and Mother Mary. I've actually seen her, but I just feel like this religion is not me. I feel like I was more forced into it. And I just feel like I want to try different belief systems to see where I belong. Because I feel like this isn't, I just don't know where I belong. And finding this way is very difficult because I wanted to do Wiccan because my mom did Wiccan. And I thought, hey, like I actually do want to work with the earth. I want to do herbalism. Like I want to work with like elements and stuff, but doesn't mean I'm going to put the elements before God. You know, I'm not going to do that. I want to do both. And what's wrong with doing both? What's wrong with wanting to work with God and working with nature? Like, I don't get it.
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And there are large Christo Wiccan groups. There's large earth-based medicine groups that believe in God. So, you know, that's where you leave. That's what I believe is you can leave man-made religion and work with the belief systems that you have. And you know, putting divinity, hi Barbara, putting divinity first, whatever you call divinity, and then bringing in the other aspects because those things were there created for us to use as well.
Yeah, that's why I want to work with Wiccan, but I guess you have to work with the spirits as well.
Who says? I don't let humans design my belief system. I design my own. I don't follow the rule books. To me, the rule books are created by people who have an invested interest in their particular rules. And if I don't subscribe to those rules, then I'm not going to believe in. Yeah. So they're people made, they're human made to constrain. I feel like, you know, plants were put on earth for us to use. I think the elementals were put on earth to keep the earth safe and to protect the earth. So I believe in a definite higher power. I don't believe in a current multi-god system, but I do believe at one time there were multi-gods that ruled the earth. I think each one comes into power at different times. But I think they're all personalities, if you will, of a main god.
Makes sense.
You know, the farmers prayed for rain. They prayed to the rain god. Some people prayed for food. They fed a food god, but couldn't they all be the same in just different aspects of a one designer of all? So,
well, with one of my elemental spirits, she has told me that her belief with God is the same thing as us, but in a different way. We believe in the same exact God, but it's in a different form.
Right, right. So spirituality to me is, for me, I have found spirituality to be much more accepting for me, believing in the sources and the energies, in the divinity, rather than going directly to a Catholic, Baptist, Jewish, Methodist, Presbyterian, which is great. I mean, if people want that and people need that, then it's there for them as well. I mean, I'm not going to knock anybody for what they believe. That's their personal belief system, and I would never take that away from anybody. I think it's important to have a belief system. It just doesn't have to be the same as as everybody else's.
Yeah, I just don't like when people shove religion down other people's throats. It makes me very mad because all my life I was kind of forced into something that I didn't want to be forced into. So when somebody does that to other people or even myself, I kind of tell them to go pound sand because it pees me off.
I get that. I get that. Somebody said, agreed. Oh, wait a minute. Becky Evans says, agreed, Celine. I stay open to all beliefs and do all metaphysical type of learning to see where I'm at and feel it has opened my eyes and my mind more. Jenny Sullivan says, as an Irish woman, I do believe in my own opinion. I think religion is man-made fear. And Carol says the creator is everywhere. I agree with that.
I believe that. I believe that 100%. Like, I don't know why though. Like, as of lately, I feel like my brain has been in a dark place. Not like in a negative, like I hate myself, not in that term, but more in like a spiritual way. Like there's no light, and I'm trying to find the light within myself to remove that cloudiness, and I don't know how to. And it's still like a struggle that I'm trying to face. I feel like it's because with a lot of the things that have been, occurring in my life, I feel like that's probably one of the reasons. And then like some of the spirits, with them being frustrated or something going on, I feel like that attached, like it, and then I start seeing negative spirits. Like I get so scared that what if I'm creating a negative entity for myself because I'm so clouded. I'm like, it's just darkness, pure darkness. When I have all of this positive energy around me, I just still feel pure darkness. And I don't understand why. I don't know.
Can you trace that back to an investigation you did or a case you worked, or do you think it's just the cloud of your mind not being able to see the path that you need to be on?
That, and I feel like it's because I'm an overthinker. That's one of my biggest things is I always think of the worst. Always. I always think of the worst thing because like growing up, I had so much damage done to me. And then like dealing with these cases, like when I help my friend, I love cold cases. I love watching them. I love like that type of thing. But that also puts me in a panic mode too, where I'm like, oh, I'm going to close up all my windows and, whatever. But I feel like it has to do with like because of that doll that I had, that's one of the reasons I feel like she doesn't want me to find my way. I feel like she wants me to be stuck in that cloudy, negative, evil mindset. And it's like, regardless if I go to church, it's still going to be there. Still going to be there. So how can I like fix this? I try to ground myself. I can't focus. I tried to go to church. I went to church for the first time in like 13 years. That didn't help. Like I just try to listen to like everyone's advice. I talk to my boyfriend first, always, most of the time, but sometimes he comes off as a pain in the butt. Because
Well,
he's very outspoken. It makes him look like a jerk. But I know that's how he is because I'm the same way, as you can tell.
well, I mean, our egos get in the way, and I think anytime that there's, anytime that we've had trauma, I think trauma speaks to our ego, and our ego, our inner child, and our ego are very protective. So I think letting go of trauma things that have been stored in our bodies lightens the load, lightens the darkness, and getting past that. I'm probably going to piss some Catholics off now, but the Catholic guilt, because guilt is a huge thing in the Catholic Church. I mean, a lot of teachings, those people who have gone to Catholic schools will understand this with the nuns, especially the older people. The Catholicism and guilt go hand in hand, and that in itself is a trauma experience. And so releasing that and being able to come within your own and know that sometimes our inner child protects us in a bad way. Sometimes it won't let us see things we need to see things, and sometimes our ego gets in the way as well as protectors. And that's when we have to go kind of outside of religion, if you will, and do more meditation or spiritual practices. And again, the spiritual people will understand this. The people who have a very Christian mindset that are on, and I mean no offense to them, but your Kundalini and your yoga type of things will actually bring you out of those experiences, because you're working with your inner trauma and you're working to build your sense of I am enough. I am powerful as I am. I am empowered. And so when you start releasing that and being able to do that, then you'll feel better. I had on my show, this is Jenny. I had on my show religion, and have people who adore religion not confirm what we do in paranormal research. Well, I mean, I think all of us have gone through the people online that do not want us, do not believe in anything that we do. I'm sure you've had that too.
Hey, if they want to know about it, they can know about it. If they don't, then stay in your lane, Stay in
Right.
your area of religion, I respect people with that, but just don't, like I said, force it down my throat, because it'll make me mad. I don't like it.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, if you don't like our pages, if you don't like what we do, then
see ya, there's a door.
Keep scrolling.
Bye. See ya.
Carol says, you can't have light without the dark, like yin and yang. If you raise your vibration by doing something you love, and then believe, and then she said she believes that lower frequencies or vibrations can't see you as much. I think that vibration is a big thing. Somebody else agrees that Catholic school, catechism, church on Sunday, that, yeah. Bible thumpers have a one-track mind. I'm editing these and not saying names now. I'm an overthinker too, but we have to fight our way past the negative. James means well. Yes.
Yes. I agree with you.
And that's very true.
I agree with you. He knows what he's doing. I agree. Yes. But sometimes he can be very stubborn. So stubborn, hard-headed, and like the way sometimes he says things is like rough. It's like tough to take. I do try my best to go to him, but I also like to go to other people to get their point of across too. I like to learn from others. I like to explore. I like to know about other people's opinions as well. I like learning, but I can't really go to him as much because he wants to go back to school. He wants to go and write a book. He does investigations. He does what's it called? speeches and stuff. Like, I can't always go to him for help. You know, he has his plate full. He has a full-time job. We have 2 kids, you know, like, how
Sure.
can I always go to him if he has his plate always full? And I'm over here like, okay, I'm just gonna step back. And I'm not gonna even lie, like, I know he knows a lot of people. I know that, you know, he worked hard for where he got. And you know what? A lot of people, past tense, I don't mean to bring this up, babe. I'm sorry. I love you. When we first split, a lot of people in the past were like, oh, you were just using him. And it's like, I didn't even know who he actually knew, like, to that extent until now. So how could I have used him if I wasn't even gaining anything out of that?
Well, negative, and we've talked about this. Hang on, let me get this in, and then I'm going to go ahead and say if I can remember. Jenny says, I will go against what you say. Trauma is what they want us to believe, as in religion and trust, and believe we don't trust, priests, the hidden truth. I'm not sure that goes against what I was saying. I think that goes with what I'm saying. And I don't mean traumatized by the church either. There's all kinds of trauma. There's sexual trauma, there's physical trauma, there's loss of parents and loved ones, and people walking out, and divorce, and school trauma, and bully trauma. There's all kinds of trauma.
I'm sorry. I was mentally, emotionally, physically abused until I was 20 years old. I was bullied in middle school and in high school. No, actually, elementary, middle school, and high school because of my disability, my reading disability, and my comprehension and the way I looked. Okay. I was bullied all of my life, going home and going to school. I hated my life. And not only that, but with abilities, seeing things, trying to attach themselves to me. And then, like, my grandfather that I thought, you know, like, oh, he's going to get better. He's in the hospital. No, he passed away, and he was my dad. He was my dad. He was my life. You could ask James. I bring him up every single day. Sorry, I'm trying not to.
And he's with you. He's with you all the time.
He practically raised me. My dad was locked up 18 years of my life. I almost died 4 times in my life. One,
there's your abilities. That's what boosted your abilities.
I was a drug baby because my dad had so much heroin in his body when my mom was pregnant with me. Luckily, my mom wasn't a druggie. If she was, I would have died. Okay. My uncle hung me out of a 2-story window when I was a baby. I almost drowned twice when I was so one time it was like 3 years old and the other one was 5. So it's like I've been through a lot in my life, and a lot of people look at me as, oh, she's crazy, or she's, you know, not all there. Yeah, I can be a little much, but I used to be this very shy person. A lot of people would be like, what? You being shy? Yeah, I was shy. I was a very quiet to myself person because of that. And one day I broke out of that because I was sick and tired. Like, a lot of people nowadays on Facebook will be like, wow, she's a real. Yeah, because I'm done. I'm done being this person that people want me to be. And I'm going to be myself if you like it or not. If you don't like it, you can get the hell out. Like, I don't care anymore. I'm starting to not care because
that's my beanie. There you go.
Excuse me, but that's bullshit. I'm done. I told him the same thing. I'm done. I'm done being everything that a person wants me to be. I'm trying to find my own way towards my own paths in everyday life, taking care of my kid on top of my abilities, trying to get a job on top of getting my license, because I have to come up with $500 for some crap to get my license. So it's not like I'm trying to be a jerk just to be a jerk. It's because I've had enough. And
I told you, didn't I tell you when I first met you online, I said 0 fucks. You're going to get to the point where you're 0 fucks. There you go, Greg. I've used 2 of them. I've used 2. I am not out of fucks yet.
I care, but I don't care. Like I care, but I don't care. It depends. And it's like, if you hurt me, just know I'm the type of person. I'm a Gemini. I'm a Gemini. Do you know what Geminis do?
Oh yeah.
We
Oh yeah.
crazy sometimes. We can be. If you push us enough, we cray, and we don't care. Like we'll want to destroy you. We will try to, but sometimes we'll just sit back and say, you know what, this ain't worth it. I'm better than this. And then there's other times where we give zero fucks, like you said, we give zero fucks, and we don't care. You did this to us. We're coming after you, and we'll F everything up. We'll
And
ruin you.
online is really hard. I mean, I'm sure it's hard for the men that are out there online. I think sometimes being a female, it makes it even harder because we not only get the the women drama,
We get
the
the men drama too.
you get the men too. Somebody said, I find religion a cop out. I've been through it. You name it: rape, abuse, neglect, abandonment, narcissist, and I'm
Yep.
still going through it in court. Yeah, it's
Yep.
not.
I'm
Yeah,
going to court too. I feel you.
yeah. I know your star sign. It's the one that fucked that fucked my life and stay clear. I don't know who said that. Their name is not on it. Hi Beanie, do you channel your spirits? Yeah, you missed that part. She does channel spirits.
I do. I see them. So I see them. I feel them. Sometimes I hear them. But the difference, though, with me seeing spirits is I can't, sometimes, not always, it's a small percentage where I can see them, like I can see you, like apparition. But most of the time, majority of the time, it's through my third eye I can see. Like right now, I can see a line of them behind me. I can see them.
Mhm.
I know she's right here on my shoulder.
Well, and that's why she came to you, was because of all your abuse. I mean, one of the reasons that your medicine girl came to you is to help you work through that trauma, to help you heal.
Yeah, she's my girl for sure. Like whenever I feel down, I just sit on the side of the bed and I just cry a little bit and I'll vent to her because, I don't always go to everybody about my problems. So I always go to my spirits as well. Like I feel very vulnerable with her and Kiwi. Um, Kiwi is the more of the protector. Like she's good with boundaries. She's a boundary girl. Like I pulled cards for her, and the card said that she's trustworthy, she's protective, she's very sensitive. She's really good with kids. I'm hearing like she's telling me right now. She's like, I love Dawson,
And you need
but
that protection. You need
she
that
says
protection.
to me, she says to me all the time, she goes, Celine, that's not very nice. You need to apologize.
Putting you in your place. Don't you love it when the spirits, mine is flat out. I have one that will flat out say, shut your mouth. Like, shut it, stop, shut it. And I'm like, okay.
That's Richard, but he's more of shut the F up, not.
Yeah. I was editing. I don't want to run out of fucks. Greg counts my
call
fucks.
you out. He doesn't care. He don't care. He's my favorite sometimes because when people come over, they'll be like, someone's touching me. I'm like, yeah, that's Richard. He knows that you don't like being touched, so he's gonna do it anyways. He does it to my brother.
Becky says she sees you searching for yourself like she is on her path, but stronger than she is.
Get out. Stop it. You're more advanced than I am.
It's funny how we see ourselves, though, because she's sending hearts. A lot of, sometimes we come across, and I've talked to Beanie for ages in the background, like we've talked back and forth. And sometimes we come across as being real badass bitches.
But I'm a real softie. I'm very soft, but
I will cry. I will cry at the drop of a hat. I can cry at cartoons. I cry at anime. Yeah, I cry at a lot of things. I spend a lot of time in tears. That's okay though. Sometimes happy tears, sometimes sad tears, sometimes angry tears. It's all
When
good.
I'm angry tears,
Ooh, yeah.
I never cry when I'm sad. I only cry like that when there's a loss or
Mhm.
I'm feeling someone's emotions. But if I'm crying and I'm upset, just know I'm peed off and I want to rip your head off.
My mom used to pull, she would get this smile, and it was a very angry smile.
Oh
Like
my
moms do
God,
like that
yes.
smile. And then she would start chuckling. And I knew like that was that you're about ready to get like your butt's gonna get busted. Like
James
I'm
says the
laughing
same
at you,
thing
but
about me. He
this
says it
is not.
about me. I'll laugh and my mouth won't move. I'll be like,
Yeah, that's what she would do. And then came the whoopings. And I was not physically abused by any means. When I got whoopings, I
yep.
deserved whoopings. I mean, I have to say, I'm 62. When I got whoopings, I
Really?
deserved. Yeah, yeah. I am every bit of it. I'm gonna be 63 in April.
No,
Yeah.
you're lying to me.
No, 1962.
Holy shit. I'm sorry.
No, that's
Don't
okay.
lie to my mouth.
No,
What?
no, we cuss. Yeah, yeah.
That's mouth dropping. You don't look it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You
I
look like
appreciate.
you're around my mom's age, 50s, early 50s.
I appreciate that. No, I no. And believe me, when I roll out of bed or I get out of a recliner, I feel it. Like I feel every bit of 62, but it's okay. It's okay. I wish the spirits would give me some of that energy to be able to move a little better and get around better. They seem to have a lot more energy. It's okay.
I'm hearing someone being very, 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 very sarcastic. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know whether that's my spirits or yours.
Me neither, but
Age and
being
knowledge.
very
Yes,
sarcastic.
age and knowledge. I have a wealth of knowledge because I don't know how Beanie learned, but I learned the hard way. Somebody said, "Don't do that." Why? Because you're not supposed to do that. Okay, well, let me see what happens if I do it.
Wait, what?
Anything like if it's in the paranormal field and they say don't do it, I'm probably going to try it just to see what happens. I mean, I'm like one of those people that just, how do I know I'm not supposed to do that? Like, what happens when I do that? Okay, well, the old saying, fuck around and find out. Yeah, sometimes you got to fuck around and find out. And then you have to clean up your mess. But then, that's a learning.
If they tell me not to go in a certain place, I'm not going.
No, I won't do that. I will follow my spirit's rules. I need to say that. When they tell me not to do something, most of the time I don't do it. When they tell me to do something, I will do it. But human rules, yeah. What do they know?
But as of lately, I've been more working with these. I have I can't really show you. I'm on a computer. I've had most of these. I have a whole bunch of these. It's all tarot and oracle. A shit ton.
Which do you prefer? Do you prefer? Oh, look at that. Yeah. Do you prefer tarot or oracle?
I like oracle better because it's not fu. It's too much. It drains me even more when I use tarot. With oracle, I feel like it's smooth and then it's fu and then it's smooth fu. So I prefer that. But sometimes I will use my tarot. Like these ones are my go-to. I've always had them. But I have a couple other tarot decks that I'm trying to work with. Like this deck is tarot, and I'm still trying to figure these ones out. They are beautiful though. They are beautiful.
Oh, those are pretty.
Yeah.
So what deck is that?
I have no idea. I just bought it because my aunt showed it to me years back, and I was like, "Oh, I want it," and then I found it. See how pretty that artwork is?
The artwork is great.
Get that. Hold on.
Yeah, that's really pretty. Yeah, a
Beautiful.
lot of people are agreeing with you. Oracle is kinder and gentler. I don't read backwards cards either.
I do. I do only because um I let spirit pick the cards. I don't pull the cards. I
Mhm.
let them come out on their own. Sometimes I'll let the people that I'm doing the cards for, if they're with me, I will let them pull them. But majority of the time, I will shuffle and they'll come out
So you read them as as a reversal card.
as well. Sometimes I do. If they come out majority, it's
I'm a
not.
terrible shuffler. Like I'm one of those people that don't pay attention how I put my stuff, my decks back together. And so I always don't I have this thing about my rule is when I read cards, I refuse to consider a reversed card, an upside down card, a reversal because I just throw my decks together and that's a Julie. To me, that's just a Julie fluke. That's not a spirit. That's me putting cards in upside down. Like I'll take half of it and they
Well,
won't
that's
have
the
the other half.
intention for you. So your spirits already know that, so they're not going to do reversed.
That's true. That is true. That's a good way to look at it.
With me, I always have them upright. So if a card does come reversed, that means that it came out like that. Spirit is telling me it's reversed.
That's a good way to look at it. Brian says he likes Oracle. Greg says hi, Brian. Becky says, "Oh, girl, I am like that," and she's talking to you. She has a lot more oracles than
Yeah,
tarot.
I sometimes like to pick a few tarot cards out, like four maybe, unless they tell me to pick out more.
Mm-hmm,
And then I do Oracle underneath. I do multiple different decks of Oracle to add the more to the picture because
mm-hmm.
it makes more sense for me.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've done this too. Like you get an oracle deck, and I'll do a bone reading for somebody, and then maybe something will be. I'm going to use the word sketchy. Like there's still some questions, and or the person I can tell the person is like, like I'm on the line, like I don't know whether I really believe what you're telling me is the underlying thing going on here or something. So then I'll pull out my oracle deck because again, it's another visual that they can look at, and I'll lay 3 cards, and I do a past, present, future layout, and I'll do 3 cards, and then I'm like, I'm so intrigued because it matches word for what I'm saying in the bones and they'll be like, so then I'll like lay 3 more. And it's what's funny is the pattern of the cards through the whole deck will follow that theme. Like it will go all the way through. And you're just like going, I mean, I can keep going. I got 6 more cards here. Do you want to see 3 more? Like, what more do I need to say? I've gone through my whole deck and it goes exactly with the whole train of thought. It's
That's
like
crazy.
it couldn't be any more in alignment, and then people are kind of like, okay, okay, okay. Like sometimes I guess you just have to have things hit you upside the head.
I'm still
Somebody
trying to
wants,
even figure out this one here. It's a runes deck. I have
mhm,
runes downstairs. I bought this to learn about the runes, but
mhm.
it's not the actual runes. It's the gods and stuff on it, I guess. So I was like, I'm gonna put this to the side because I want the actual.
I'm gonna send you.
Rune.
I'll send you a link. I have the coolest mat. Um, it's it's an Amazon mat. I know the divination wonders of Amazon. It's a plastic mat, like a placemat thing, and you can actually like spray it and wipe it off, which is super cool for those of us that eat and do things at the same time, or you got kids. But you lay you draw your ruins, and it's everything charted into the 3 tiers, and then it gives the explanations, it gives the name, and then you can flip it over and get more detail. But you can lay out your ruins on the mat and it explains to you, so you learn your ruins that way. I'll send it, and it's like, I want to say it's like $12 or something for the mat. And it
You
is
just
the
reminded
coolest
me.
mat I've ever.
I need to buy my freaking things. I forgot the name of them.
Divining rods?
Yeah, because my other ones went missing, and I was like, Damn it, that's how I communicated.
I love divining rods. Yeah, water witching rods for those people who have not worked with those. Yeah.
I
What
want
do you
to
think of
get
people who read reversed? She just explained that people who read reverse, their spirits know. Like when you're reading reverse, you know it's an intention of the spirit to put the card in there backwards. Um, I know with me, I'm such a shitty shuffler. Like I'll take half of a deck and turn it I mean, like I don't. So my spirits correct that for me. I read everything is normal. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's great if you do read reverse. It doesn't matter how you read. Everybody's got their own style.
exactly.
Everybody does.
Regardless if she reads it reversed or not, she's still going to get the same answer because her spirits are going to tell her.
Exactly. Exactly. Somebody wants to know, what's your favorite place you've ever done an investigation at?
Wilson Castle.
Where's that?
I think it's in Pennsylvania. Either Pennsylvania or Vermont. One of the two. I think it's more of Pennsylvania. I have to look it up. I haven't been there in a long time. I haven't been there in like 3 years, maybe 2-3 years. So it's been a little bit of time.
Why is that your favorite?
Huh?
Why is that your favorite place?
Because honestly, I've had more positive results out of that location. Like I didn't feel like I was gonna be attacked. I felt more of the spirits are a little bit more at peace. They are a little sassy, especially the men. They can be a little sassy. So if you like a little sass, go there. But I personally have always had really good results there. I also really love the artwork in that place. It's beautiful. Like the woodwork, like it's huge too. It's huge. The attic, that's one of my favorite spots. That's where I got most of that's where I got most of my results. But everyone's different. So like you could be in a certain area and then you get more at this location of the house, and you know what I mean? But that's my personal favorite part. It's upstairs. It's very beautiful.
What part of the I'm trying to I just blasted somebody for spamming on our thing. What is a country or location that you would love to go to and why? Jenny wants to know.
Well, my boyfriend went to Transylvania 2 years ago or something like that, and he didn't bring me. So that is one of the locations that I want to go to because I love vampires. I love vampires. And like he showed me a picture of him looking down and there's all skulls around him. Oh, I would love to just tune in and tap in to see, like what the experiences were for them, regardless if it was good or bad. I would want to understand their point of view of how they lived there and what their experiences were. And I just want to know about the history and
sure.
And the artwork looks incredible, regardless if there's skulls everywhere or not. Sure. I just think it's a very beautiful place, in my opinion. I actually did a little bit of research on it because I was on a channel with an old friend of mine. His name's Michael or Mike, Mike King. He had us do different locations and whatnot, and I do appreciate him for having me on his channel. It was a really good and fun time when I was on there exploring new places. And my biggest advice to you, if you personally love investigating and you want to If you want to learn new places and explore, look up different haunted locations, because some of these places are very old, rustic. If you like that type of style, I would say go for it. Like, look up different haunted places, or even older locations that you've never been or you want to explore, or you just curious about, because like if you like history and you want to learn it, you have to just do it, because if you don't do it, you're just going to regret it, you
Sure,
know?
sure. Now, do you like to know the history of the place going in, or do you like to use your skills and then look up the history afterwards?
So I like to tune in first, even if I just get to look at a picture first, and tap in to see what's going on. Then I'll just talk to myself, or my partner will talk about it, and we'll usually go from there. And then I will personally like go to the group if they are into hearing what I have to say. If they don't, I'll just go to whoever that is spiritual like I am and ask them, what did you get? Did you get anything on, your devices, or did you get anything through your third eye or hearing or whatever feeling? I just personally I don't just look up the history. I wait until later on and ask, because I like to use my abilities to enhance them, but also because I love history, I love asking afterwards, because it's just more beneficial for me to learn.
I'm much the same way. I will know, like I want to know in general when I walk in, was this like a military base or a military hospital, or was this a asylum, like a mentally ill asylum, or was this a prison? Or I want to know the generics, but I don't want to
Yeah.
know, because I
Yeah.
think we can create a scenario, or we can go along with the pre-made scenarios of a place, which may be actually feeding energy to the wrong things. And of course, spirits will create the story to go along with anything that we choose to make, because that feeds them more energy. So I'm really, and somebody asked that, Jenny asked that, like, what is your research on the location you want to investigate? I will do a generic research, very generic. I don't want to know names. I don't want to know anything else,
Yep.
because if the names come to me and they match, first of all, that's proof of my abilities.
I'm not
And
good with names. They don't usually come to me.
yeah, names don't always, numbers sometimes come to me. If I'm doing Estes, numbers come to me a lot. Sometimes names do come to me, but
I
I
get
don't want to know the
different.
names ahead of time, because then I get hung up on those names and I try to create that story that's not necessarily there. And then I fixate on that, and I don't want to fixate on that. I want to pick up on everything else. How long? Let's see. This is Jenny. How long have you been investigating? And as a researcher of the paranormal, what is your go-to to why you do it? So you have, I'm working on two different things. Sorry. So you have, what is your go-to to why you do it? So you have audio, video, etc.
What, how did I get into it?
How long have you been investigating?
So, okay, I've been investigating for like 3 years tops, I believe, but I've always could see things.
And your go-to is the use of your own skills, right? We talked about that
Yeah.
earlier.
Yep.
And so what do you record yourself as you're doing your channeling or anything? Do you have
No,
any
I
record?
usually just write things down, because I don't really have any tool to record. I don't really like using my phone, because it's not clear enough for me. You know, it's
Now,
not.
Does James use equipment too? Or is he more based on what he's seeing and sensing and all of that as well?
No, he has equipment. We share it, but some of it doesn't work, so we have to go and get new equipment. So that's what we're trying to do, but it's kind of expensive right now.
Equipment is just off the chain. People don't realize how expensive. I mean, you can get apps on your phones. There
That's
are
what I
apps.
use.
Yeah, I have a whole folder full of apps that I use on my phone rather than carrying an SLS camera and another computer and all those things, because there's two of us and there, 6 cases, and it gets a little tiring. But yeah, if you can use an app on your phone, but then you also can't record while you're using said app on your phone. So then that makes it difficult as well.
That's true. Very true, actually.
So, well, can we do a part 2 of this sometime?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're almost 30 minutes over. And there's nobody after me, which is fine. But I would like to continue this discussion. And so if anybody has any last minute questions, I'll give you a few seconds to type them out. This has been fun. I mean, this has just been like sitting around chatting with the girls. I love this. I think, as investigators, we need to, especially females, there's so many male teams. It's nice to get together with other females and see how they do things. It's always good. Jenny, as a researcher, we must have proof. So what you are saying is that we just go by what you say. Phone apps, please don't use. It's not what investigators do.
Actually, it's false, actually, because I have a video from my friend that's Bigfoot and the Bunny, if you know who they are. I was using my phone while they were using their equipment, and the same thing came out on both.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me that I'm wrong. We caught it on video, and the woman fell right through the chair. And
Jenny, a lot of these apps, you have to be careful with your apps, of course. I mean, there's apps that are for entertainment purposes. The apps that a lot of us purchase are made in the paranormal community, and they're made to go along with the equipment that we have. So I would trust those apps, with myself, because I'm also picking up the same thing. So that, yeah, it depends. If you're being, okay, so let me clarify something for the audience too. If you are a paranormal researcher, there needs to be some form of data. Yes. So if you're researching paranormal, I believe there needs to be a data collection system. If you're a paranormal investigator, I think that people are going to be you're going to be using apps along with your abilities, because you're investigating. So you're using investigation skills, some scientific method, which can be including your own method, whether you're using occult boards, tarot cards, pendulums, dowsing rods, things like that. And then I would say, if you're a paranormal psychic medium going in to check out places, I don't need to provide anybody with any proof.
Thank you.
I go in and clean houses for free. I go in and bless houses. I go in and remove entities. I can provide video for anything that I want to. And, I don't need to do anything. And that would be my response. So it depends on what part of the field you're doing and what you're doing it for. Definitely. I mean, if you're a researcher, you're going to have that. Come to my page, come to my Facebook page, and I'll put the apps on there. I don't know how to add while I'm online. I'm still learning how to set up the technology. My bad. I got the show up and running today. It had music. It had a countdown. We are successful. Let's see.
And you were muted.
And I was muted.
Yep.
So Jenny says, yes, I know who they are. I am friends with them. I am at 18 years. So teenager. Okay, blah, go to bed. I'm not understanding what Jenny's saying. Thank you guys. we're going to go down with the show. If you have any further questions, I always review the comments. We will respond. Thank you, Beanie, for being on tonight. It was exciting and fun. Thank you for bringing your huge spirit pool that's behind you and the one shadow that keeps popping up behind you and then going back around the corner. We thank you all. Next week, there will be another guest that's already been posted. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Becky. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to bring us down, and thanks for a good show. Stay on.